Would you rather have $100,000 or 100,000 followers on Twitter?
Oh, easily 100K followers. Yeah, that's easy. Yeah, because I mean, you can sell them over and over again, and yeah, you have so much more power, right? I'd say if you say $1 million and 100,000 followers, I would still choose the followers because you can sell them over and over and over again, and just the network effects are just invaluable to me.
So you would rather have 100,000 followers than $1 million in cash?
Yeah, yeah, I would. What would you do?
Same thing, the followers for sure. But I think what's interesting about it is this is a thought process that is now becoming more prevalent in younger people. Where if you go and you ask them, hey, let's say a high school kid, would you rather have 25,000 followers or 5 grand? Even though they have no money, $0, many of them, not all, but many of them will choose the 25,000 followers because they now see it's possible. They understand followers equate opportunity in business. And so they're starting to recognize if I can not choose the kind of short-term, windfall of cash, and I can look at this as how do I lay the foundation for something, that's the better path. It's fascinating to me because I don't think 10 years ago, if you had said to someone, hey, do you want, $1 million or 100,000 followers? They'd be like, what? Of course, $1 million. I don't know how many of them had ever seen a path to actually building businesses and driving revenue. Now they've seen it, it becomes much more attainable to them. And that's why they're so interested in the followers, not just the cash.
Let me turn it back to you. Would you have 10K email subs or 100,000 followers?
I think email is by far the single most powerful platform. And again, it goes back to like, what are you trying to accomplish? Obviously, if you're just looking for, broad reach and virality, and kind of how do you grow your audience as fast as possible, you probably can do that all of that easier on Twitter. But in terms of connectivity to the audience, email to me is much, much better. It also allows you to actually write rather than have to fit everything into 280 characters. And so email, I think, is much powerful. Now, if you have a big Twitter audience, it's not hard to convert people from Twitter to an email list, right? And so naturally, an interesting question is to ask yourself, if you had to pick one platform to start on and build your initial audience that would then serve as the groundwork for everything else you wanted to do, I do think that Twitter is probably the place where it gives you the furthest head start. Not necessarily the only way to do it, but I do think that Twitter being the first one provides a lot of advantages.
It allows you to fail fast too, because if you wanted to record a YouTube video, it's going to take you like a week for you to know if it was a success or not. Whereas when it comes to Twitter, it takes 20 minutes or like 2 seconds, right? You could just write it and see how it does. You just go like that. And maybe one thing I think we might agree on that the audience might find valuable is whatever platform you choose, one of your main goals should be to drive people to your email list because you own that, right? So whatever platform, it's not that the platforms are kings. It's the email list that's king. Platforms are just a way to get them into your list because you get the man hammer. That's it. I mean, you saw what happened to Andrew Tate, right? He had the big following, then just like poof, disappeared, right? And then it's like it was just a weird situation. So whatever platform you choose, email is king if you want to funnel people to that, and you own it and you control it and you can monetize as many times as you want.